All
That
right.
was truly dramatic, man.
Yep. So, good afternoon, everyone who are joining from India, and whatever time zone you all are. Happy to have you guys here. This is like a first go live as well and this is more of to kind of explore, where AR can head to. And today we kind of have launched on Product Hunt as well. So do check us out there, ask us questions. But we have a very special guest today with an evil and a good sense of humor, Mr. Vineet Kanabar from WaveMaker. Vineet, thank you very much for like on a short notice, and this is like pretty much impromptu as well. So it's going to be casual, but just like a 10-15 minute quick conversation on, what's out there new. And especially with your experience, you've kind of seen the technology evolve as well and different applications of content marketing. So yeah, please introduce yourself and we'll kind of take it up from there.
Snehaal, first of all, congratulations to you and the team at SuperFan for the launch. It's brilliant. Very happy to be here. When Hardik messaged and he said you're doing this cool thing, and I was like, yeah, totally, I'll make time. And glad to be here. Congratulations, man. Excited for you guys and excited about the things that you're doing. What I do in my day job is
Thank
I
you.
work at
Yeah.
I mean, and we worked together before. Just before I start talking about myself again, we worked together before while I was at TVFN, while we were doing that thing with tripling. I'll talk about that in a second. But super kicked about you guys, man. So what I do in my day job is I work with brands on technology, culture, entertainment. How do you go from an advertising sort of model into a more engagement oriented model? So all the different media types that go into it, so whether it's video or web series or AR filters for that matter, or large IPs, small technology interventions. That's the kind of things that I do. And I'm a massive believer in this kind of experience, man. I think while video sort of dominated the 20th century, the 21st century is much more immersive than that, right? And I think AR is a step towards that. And I'm not saying this just to be like, hey, buy AR, but you look at gaming, right? You look at generally our media is tending to become more immersive, right? When you watch Game of Thrones, immediately you want to watch another video about it and read about it, stuff like that. It's also our larger desire for immersiveness in storytelling.
Yep.
AR fits very well there, man. From the marketing side of things, it's been something that I've experimented with. Like I mentioned earlier, the one that we did with SuperFan on tripling. I think that was a very cool thing that we ended up doing. To give you a sense of what we wanted to do was give a fan a chance to ride with their three siblings inside the tripling car, right? And we had those music switches, and the environment would switch, and the person who was driving the car with the siblings were there. So we got like 1 million shares of that without pushing any media on it. So obviously people also enjoy it. It's a creative way of storytelling. So excited about AR finally feeling like coming of age with more and more people trying it out, and excited about the things that you guys are doing now.
Yeah, I think it was definitely like a wonderful project to work with you all. But I think one of the things generally with AR, as we talk, right, there's a big hesitation as well, and the non-accessibility around it. So while it's great to hear that it worked out, but I think just to give insights to like people joining us as well, like what was the thought behind? Like I'm sure there was a hesitation before, and what was that hesitation, and what kind of helped you go over the fence to kind of try it for the first time?
I think there have been a few myths about it, right? It's hard to access. Kya karoge? And like with any new technology, it starts with gimmicks, and which tends to lower the value of that technology, right? अब में किसी ने cigarette के packet के ऊपर AR चला दिया, and there was drumming happening. I don't know if Hindi is okay, but and people, it needs a little bit value demonstration. I'll give you an example, right? Has this kids collectibles done through something called the Cadbury's PlayPad, right? And it helps them move business. So I think for us, the hill was crossed very quickly because I had a clear problem that AR would help me solve, right? I had a big IP tripling huge successful web series in season 1, bringing it back for season 2 was how do I give my audience an immersive experience with character they love, and it did very well. For Lickables, Cadbury's PlayPad is that AR solution that solves that marketing or business challenge, right? So I think the moment we're able to figure out what is a creative technology means for it, the easier it becomes to get through that hesitation. That's my experience. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, absolutely. Like, see, I think one of the things that we principally believe in, whether it's AR, VR, or be what may, right, comes down in next few years to decades. It's very important to try on early, right? But it's that first decision of like hopping on the fence, saying, "Hey, I want to try it," and then whether failure or success comes, but there's lots of learnings, right? And that's what's more important, because that's how you can improvise, that's how you can kind of be better to what you
For
are.
sure.
So like, quick question on like, what was your learnings, and what do you think it could have been done better, or what kind of sprung up after that?
And that's a very risky question to ask. Could it have been done better? Right? Because every more time, more money, more ideas. Sure, man. I think what we did realize, we didn't preempt, was the impact. I would have thought 100,000 would be its end of whatever 3 weeks or a month or a period that we're tracking at that time. But the impact went up to 1 million. And my sense is people should plan for innovation and innovative engagements like AR, not in isolation, right? But along with the rest of your campaign, how it will sort of other aspects of the use that are important to your brand. Right? I think that's a big learning that I think we should take as AR becomes more significant and pertinent to user discovery. It's become really easy. I mean, every time you scan a QR code, that's also sort of AR. Every time you use a sticker on Instagram, it is a sort of AR, right? So, I mean, those cameras and those lenses and technology, they're pretty ubiquitous now, right? So it can only go up. And I mean, from my learning, like I said, I do well to plan it as part of a larger media mix, as opposed to just one sort of solo innovation that we're doing. Right?
Yeah, because I think with any new age media, technologies that come out there, one of the thought is that, hey, it's just a check mark to kind of get my case study done, or like saying tried it, or it's that initial KPI that kind of drives that first use case. But I think once you kind of try it, you kind of understand, and as you correctly said, to creation is one, but then how do you figure out the distribution, positioning, and making sure that if it kind of reaches a milestone that you might or might not expect, like what is the opportunity to kind of amplify, right? Or what you should be kind of prepared for. So I think that's a definitely
it's like a new language, right? It's a new language. It's more interactive than it's almost as interactive as voice, a little more expressive than voice, right? So it's a new language. The camera is a new device for marketers, and we should be leveraging that. I think there needs to be discussion. There needs to be more discussion about AR strategy as opposed to AR innovation. If that makes any sense.
No, absolutely. I think, and that's a very good eye to kind of seeing that not everybody can get on. So yeah, I think that's a great positioning and a try-on method to use there. Apart from like AR, are you guys exploring any of the other new age technologies? Like today we talk about VR, and again it's a change time, and we say right now there's a pre-COVID time, there's COVID, and then post-COVID. So what are the changes and adoption that you're kind of doing in your content or your marketing strategies today?
I think VR still has a couple of fundamental technology challenges. I think globally, while we've come to a more stable VR consumption rate, now you don't have those nausea problems anymore. I think those technology challenges have been solved, but distribution is still a big challenge, right? I think that's the curve that AR has kind of crossed. So while we're still figuring out what are the best use cases, we are doing interesting new consumption ways. So podcast is something that we're very big. Gaming for sure. I mean, personally, a big gamer myself. Sorry, my throat's just smoker stuff.
That's all right.
Yeah, so but gaming, I think gaming is going to be massive, right? It's a
And then
consumption driver,
when you
time
say
sink.
gaming, essentially, like, do you say like gamification of the content play itself, or
No, everything from casual gaming on your mobile phone all the way up to esports, man. So we're very, very bullish about that. Trying to create some very interesting solutions with Ludo King, with the larger sort of gaming community. Big bet there because there's a clear shift for the younger audiences, right, towards more interactive form of entertainment. The way I look at it is, when I was younger, 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening, we would go out to play cricket on a ground. Now that ground has disappeared, but those kids are going out to play PUBG on their phone.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So that's where we're very excited about stuff that's happening in the gaming spaces as well. So gaming podcast. I do a podcast myself. I always forget to introduce it while I talk about myself. So yeah, I do a
Yeah, I
podcast
think you
about
should
the
do. Yeah, now is the
about the
time then.
business of entertainment called Storytellers and Storysellers, and I'm very bullish personally about that space, growing very, very fast. It's to be honest, the rise of the sort of public Indian intellectual coming to life, what we can't do on radio. So those are 2-3 spaces that we're very excited about.
Yeah, and I think these new avenues also give you a way that it's not just about, let's say, like we are talking today, right? That content kind of sits always for consumption later on, right?
Right.
And I think podcasts, gaming, and all these things also open those doors, that it's not just about consumption today, which could be a today strategy, but the content lives forever. And how do you kind of maintain these different touch points based on the user's journey, whether it's on physical world or like sitting in one place, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think that's very well captured. I think so. Let me see. So yeah, I think one of the, and we'll just kind of quickly do like a wrap up as well. We're up on our time.
Yeah.
But is there anything that you would like to share with the folks out there who are just venturing out into content marketing? Because I think one of the challenges that has become is the availability of content, right? Suddenly now there is a spurge of like so much content out there. Like it honestly takes me 35 minutes just to 35 minutes easy just to decide what I want to hear or what I want to see, right?
Right.
And then you realize, shit, I just have like maybe another half an hour to kind of consume something, or I have to go back to my routine. So while audience has its own challenge, as a content creator, content enabler, like I'm sure you face that challenge as well, and there should be some thoughts or strategies that you kind of adapt. So yeah, some
No, I
inputs
think
there.
at the heart of any good strategy is who that strategy is meant to impact, right? So if your strategy is storytelling, then you have to have your consumer or your audience at the heart of it, right? A lot of smarter creative folk have told me in life that they tend to create for themselves and then outward or inward, depending on how they want to create, right? So create something that you want to see, that you want to watch, right? That's just a general guideline. If you are a creator and you want to watch something, I'm sure you'll find someone else who will watch it as well. But more to content marketing, I think a very, very old friend of mine asked me today on Instagram message of all places that how can I tell the difference? I can't tell the difference between ads and content marketing anymore. And I said, yeah, it's a simple funda, right? Content is what you want to watch. Ads are what you don't.
Yeah.
And content is meant to entertain, while ads are meant to sell. So content marketing is supposed to sell while you entertain. So if it's not entertaining, it won't do its job of selling, right? So sort of simple distilled words that sound like profound gyan, but actually are very, very simple things. So yeah, man, that's what keeps me excited, because there is just so many ways of keeping people engaged and entertained, and the fact that all it is on your phone means you can link it to action so quickly, man. Earlier it would be a hard sell to say, okay, please make a half an hour special on TV, and then you can link it to action. But now it's so much easier, and that's where sort of AR and gaming and all of this cool stuff also fits in.
Oh, cool. Makes sense. Actually, we have one more question. And the question is, of course, interesting. Now that TikTok is in like a problem state, especially in many countries apart from us as well. like what is that shift, right? And now people are honestly like scrambling, saying, hey, do we run towards Instagram because that's like a safe platform, you see longevity there, it's kind of approved by government and blah blah, to like suddenly you have Chingari and like many other platforms suddenly like springing up as well, right? So what is your thoughts for like the influencers out there, or the new age influencers who are now suddenly like scrambling for like a platform ownership?
I think it reiterates what is core, right? Is that what is your story is more important than the platform you're on, right? And if your story is fit for that platform, I'll take a couple of quick examples. Fesu, for that matter, right? Lost his TikTok, but still got about 10-15 million on Instagram because he's got a strong story to tell. He's a guy with an authentic following and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So for creators, that's what I'd say: stick to your story. If your story is relatable, if people see their own truth or their own lives, or they look up to you, they will follow you to whatever platform you go to, and you will build your following, right? From a platform play perspective, it gets far more interesting because now there's no sort of challenging Instagram anymore, right? You had a general sort of all-purpose short content format where TikTok was coming in, right? But now you have TikTok is taken away, Instagram becomes a sort of premium tier, and what we're seeing happen is more niche short video platforms coming up, right? While TikTok was becoming that big rival, I think that's what's going to happen with Chingari or Trello or what is the other one with a T that's coming in?
Lose track actually.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them, right?
Yeah.
So I think what will start happening is you'll see platforms become hubs of certain types of culture, right? Like Instagram is the hub of beauty and fashion and lifestyle,
Yeah.
right? While you will see the odd cooking video there as well. Facebook is a lot more cooking, or YouTube has a lot more cooking content happening there, right? So that's how I think it'll play out. That said, TikTok will make a comeback in the US. It seems like it. Some very smart people will make very smart financial decisions, and we'll sit here reading the headline. But yeah, I think that's how it will play out, man. But for creators, I don't think much changes. If you've got a great story to tell, the audience will follow you wherever. The platform game remains long and difficult. But for creators, I don't think a lot changes. What it's done, it's very similar to what's happened to stories with Snapchat, right? How stories became this language that now every platform speaks. Shorter video is now becoming that language that every platform will start speaking, right? You're seeing it with Reels, you'll see it with other things.
Yeah. Cool. I think that's awesome. We are up on a time. So really thank you for, joining us on such a short notice and very impromptu plan. But I think, great value add for, viewers who have joined us. And, great to have you here, and have a pleasant day ahead.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. All of you, please cheer for the great guys at SuperFan and Snehaal and Hardik. And once again, man, thanks so much for having me.
All right. Thanks.
Right.
Thanks.
Bye.